Hello, welcome into the first collective week ahead card pull for the month of June. We are here at the June altar. I have just recorded yesterday the June month ahead energy reading for the June Empowerment Pack. So I know many of you came along with me for that, and I have sent that to you. You're going through that and preparing for part 2, where you'll receive your personal month ahead card pulls. Anyone who would like to join us this whole week, this first week of June, it is available. I have some spaces left if you want to come on in for the June Empowerment Pack. This is a huge month. It is jam-packed with energetic weather. We have solstice coming up later this month. We are in the throes of Gemini season right now. So there's just so much that we are moving through, and it really all culminates into these channeled words that I'm bringing in that's really metamorphosizing, if we will, into a really beautiful analogy for what we are experiencing within our microcosms as well as the macrocosm, the world at large. And so I brought in a lot of different elements and symbols here on the altar for the month of June that I really get into in that part 1 video that is now available. So if you're interested in joining us to go much deeper, we have a color, crystal, spirit animal, along with totems from both of these beautiful oracle decks we'll be taking a look at this week, and more. So do reach out, check out the caption. If you're seeing this on one of my social media spaces, I'm Marissa from 𝓘𝓻𝓭 𝓼𝓪. This is a sample of my offerings that I do over on my free Empowerment Sharecast on the Marco Polo app. And this is where each week we tune into the collective using these intuitively selected decks and following through these different themes for the month so that we can have guidance, insight, and awareness as we move through each week. So what we're going to do here is I cannot wait to show you guys the tarot deck that I've chosen for the month of June. We're going to be pulling our 5-card spread from that deck. But first, definitely bringing in the butterfly totem this month and this energy of transformation of being in the chrysalis stage and all that entails, and kind of where we are as a collective now in the melting down and dissolving in order to transform. So we're going to be bringing in supporting oracle messages from the Butterfly Oracle cards for life changes, which is a beautiful deck. And so many of us are moving through life changes at this time. And then also this gorgeous brand new deck, the Seasons of the Witch Litha Oracle. This is one of my favorite series. I love to bring them in for the different seasonal celebrations and pagan holidays. And of course, Litha, midsummer, coming up with the solstice here later this month. So we're going to be pulling cards from these 2 decks. Then we will tap into the amazing Tarot of Oneness by Robin Voisey, this gorgeous tarot deck that we'll be using all month long. This is also the deck that I use for your personal month ahead energy card pulls when you join me for the Empowerment Pack. Or if you just want one reading for the month, for your month ahead to tap into the energies, we will use all these decks and the part 1 video I was just talking about for just the Hello Empowerment reading for your month ahead. If you do the full Empowerment Pack, that also includes 2 additional readings, which will be for the 2 lunations, the new moon in Gemini being the first one coming right up this week, June 6th. So we've got that coming too. There's so much to cover. So we're going to get going here because I have a crazy busy day and I wanted to be able to get to these card pulls for us before I launch into it. Before I do that, I want to spray the Tanzanite third eye chakra energy. I was really feeling some of these colors coming in, certainly connecting in with the water element for flow, the cosmos element for expanding, and here the Tanzanite third eye chakra energy for bringing together and opening up that insight, intuitive guidance, the third eye, for really tapping into that source of inner wisdom. So these, of course, are the beautiful healing energy sprays from Angelic Celestial Colors that I also use as a part of my Metatron color healing practice as well. So let's get one out here from the butterflies for life changes, for sort of setting the tone here for a message for us. Again, I'm going to pull the cards here now, and then I will be breaking down each of the messages over on the Empowerment Sharecast, and we'll go each card at a time. We'll talk about the energetic weather this week, and then we'll do Monday through Friday. So you can kind of dip in and watch a la carte or however that works for you. And then, of course, if you would like a personal card pull this week, I offer those complimentary there as well. So if you would like to have a personal card pull, feel free to reply or reach out to me in whatever way works best for you. Okay, first card coming in here from the Butterfly Life Changes. Adult children. Okay, wow, that's gorgeous. I love the colors. We will feel into that message. I know for me, like one of my life changes is that I have an 18-year-old who's graduating in just less than 2 weeks now. So there's a lot of big changes coming in for me and my household and adjusting to life, parenting an adult child. So that's interesting. We'll feel into what that may be coming in with a message for all. Now let's get our Seasons of the Witch Litha Oracle message as well. These are going to be sort of bookmarks here supporting us this week. And then we'll get into our 5-card spread. So one card here for a collective message. This first week of June, which I also like to say the first week of June, first week of any month when we pull the cards tend to sort of set the tone for the whole month of kind of giving us a sense of a lot of the overarching themes and energies that we're moving through. Ooh, Heather, card 14. You are worthy, my dear. Silence the noise that strips you of your peace. Beautiful. Noticing the color there, the blue and like this orangey gold kind of coloring that we see between these two cards. So I see that coming in as well. So that's something for us to tune into as we go. Okay, let's go ahead and pull our 5 cards now from this amazing deck. Tarot of Oneness, bringing in some guidance, insight, and empowerment for our week ahead. What do we need to know as a collective with Monday's card, really kicking things off and setting the tone for the week is what that will resemble for us. Ooh, 10 of Pentacles. So yeah, look at that richness there. That's coming in with some earth energy, which brings in a lot of, again, connecting us into that root chakra, into the base, earth energy, material, safety, security. And I'm definitely seeing all hands on deck here. And I'm seeing diversity in those hands in many different ways. So we're seeing generations, we're seeing legacy, ancestral connections, and so much more. So this is really a very rich card to set the tone for us. And the 10, of course, symbolizing those endings and new beginnings and culminations of cycles and chapters. And of course, on the other side from that new moon that we had, or the full moon rather that we had, we're building up to the new moon now, the full moon that we had in Sagittarius, which really was about these new stories, setting out on these new adventures, turning the page. So feeling that coming in to set this tone for a Gemini new moon coming in on the 6/6 portal. Tuesday is a card that represents a potential block or challenge this week. So what may come in for us collectively as a potential block or challenge? Let's see what's coming in here. Ooh, 5 of Wands. Yeah. Okay. So stirring and stirring that poo. 5 of Wands is my stirring the poop card. It's that futile use of lower vibrational argumentative energy of, stepping on others to get to the top, to be emerging the victor, the one who's right, to reach there's so much. So this is definitely giving us a lot of collective energy. It's bringing in that number of 5, which does bring with it change, chaos, uncertainty in transition, which of course is where we are when we're in this stage of our transformation collectively. There's so much that's happening in the fray. So definitely feeling that one, and we will feel into that more deeply to see how that may show up for you. Okay, Wednesday is our midweek blessing. Midweek blessing. 3 of Cups. Yes, check that out. Bringing all that, look at all that magic again in the diversity. You see how everybody's cup of tea is different. We're bringing in these different perspectives and gifts and magic that when we bring it all together, it creates something truly special. So there's this blessing in the coming together of tribe, of support, and even just, again, gathering, sharing some tea, and it's funny because we got the Sun Magic card from you may have seen, because I shared this on the Sharecast, the card polls for the Empowerment Pack. I shared all of the altar elements, which included this gorgeous card from the deck as one of our messages for the month. And when I was sharing in the Empowerment Pack messages, sun tea came through and talking about, again, using the sun and intention to create something really magical. So getting a nod to that there too. Thursday is going to be how we are growing. So let's see what's coming in. Ooh, the moon. Let me think. What's today? 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th. Of course, it's the new moon day. How we are growing. This is the 6th. 6/6 portal. I love this card. I've shown it before in some other messages. There are some really cool hidden things here that get illuminated when we look more closely within the trees. So I will zoom in and share that when we talk about this card so you can see each of the hidden little Easter eggs, if you will, that are here in this card. But I'm really feeling the power of this new moon in Gemini happening on the 6/6 portal, and our opportunity to really connect in with some of this wisdom that I'm feeling is actually very ancient wisdom that's been coming forward for us to tap into. Yes, it's a new moon, so there's an absence of light. So it may be, again, just initially bringing in some waves in this inception at this portal, at this gateway to things that will continue to unfold over the coming months. But definitely feeling this is a very powerful card this week. And so far, it's our only major arcana card. So noteworthy there as well. Okay, our final card for Friday, wrapping up the week, is, let's see what's coming in. Ooh, all right, we'll take that one. The embodiment of cups. So this is going to be like the Queen of Cups. One of the things I absolutely love about this deck is the take on the court cards, which traditionally show people and more traditional roles of, page, knight, queen, king, masculine, feminine. That is all transformed brilliantly here, as the queen being the embodiment of the cups, the traditional king being the spirit of a suit. So I'm sorry, I have it backwards. This is the King of Cups. First is the spirit, then the embodiment. My bad. So this is actually the King of Cups. Embodiment of cups, which is the embodiment of a suit is, again, taking the essence of all of it and having it be in this very mastered way of being, this energy being coming forward. So we've got a lot to unpack here with the symbolism as well of this embodiment of the cups, which is going to be the water element of emotions, flow, heart chakra. So yeah, definitely a lot of, we have a little bit of everything here. We've got cups, we've got wands, we've got pentacles, and we've got a major arcana card here to bring in that lunation that's coming in this week. So, okay, guys, we're going to be unpacking this as I'm able because I do have a jam-packed day of baseball again. So this is Sunday as I'm pulling these cards. And of course, I will come in and finish through the messages today into Monday as I'm able. So please tune in. If you have not yet joined the June Empowerment Sharecast, please check it out. It's free. It's fun. If you would like a personal card pull, feel free to request one, and we will connect throughout the week. And once again, ways we can work together more comprehensively. We've got a number of exciting ways. We have the Empowerment Pack where you and I could work together throughout the month of June with these 3 readings, unlimited 1-card pulls, and more. You can do just an a la carte reading with the Hello Empowerment to just tap into your month ahead energies. Or you can do the new moon reading this week as well. I have a solo new moon reading if you just want to tune in for the Gemini new moon and some guidance there. Okay, Thank you so much. I look forward to unpacking all of this with you. Sending much love, many blessings, and we'll chat soon. All right, here we go. We are starting this month and kicking off this week with some energetic weather, and there is much. So I'm actually going to share a graphic from Forever Conscious that kind of gives us some high-level bullet points of some of the areas to highlight. But first, I'm just going to talk a little bit about an overview of June. Of course, I get into this much more specifically in our Empowerment Pack reading for the month ahead. Again, if you would like to join for more on that. But we're really entering here into June with this strong wave of Gemini energy, which is likely to be lifting our spirits, helping to sort of ignite our intellect, our thoughts, because again, it's connecting us into the air element, to communication, to expressing ourselves, even in a more poetic way. And yet, Gemini is known for having that dual side, the twins, and being sort of two-faced or sharp-tongued or having that duplicity. But actually, really beautiful symbolism there in the Gemini twins as that dance between the material world and the spiritual world, where one of the twins is mortal, the other is immortal. So it really is about sort of finding the magic and synchronicity between the two. So the first half of the month, we're really connecting in with that, again, being perhaps very extroverted, external, more communicative, more social, a lot of activities, things like that. At the same time, perhaps connecting in with some of those more practical material things, the idea of this earthly existence and those things like having to have shelter, income, the stresses that come with the day-to-day. And we'll talk about that, especially with the Pentacles card that's kicking off our week as we go. So we have that coming in. And at the same time, June is also going to bring solstice. So depending on where you are in the world, this is a key marker of yet another trip around the sun, whether we're welcoming in summer in the northern hemisphere or winter in the southern hemisphere. So this is a very powerful, cosmically powerful day of the year, because as the seasons shift, so do we. And we can really use the solstice portal to shift into a higher state of harmony and really access our own inner wisdom and innate healing powers with greater ease. So that's another thing. There's just so much going on this month. I also have solstice readings available. So if you check out the link that I'm sharing here for the Empowerment Pack, for the Hello Empowerment, for just one reading for your month ahead of June, for the a la carte new moon reading, you'll also see solstice readings that are available all month long as well. So just kind of setting the stage here for June, of course, on the latter half, we will also welcome in Cancer season. So happy birthday, Cancerians. We will get into that more as we move through the month. But let's pull up this graphic now to just take a look at some of the highlights for the astrological weather this week. Okay, so as I record this, it is June 2nd, and you see right off the top, we have Jupiter trine Pluto. So this is seen to be a harmonious alignment that really expands optimism around transformations in our life. So that's really powerful because, of course, we're coming into this month with this transform into abundance. So we've got this Jupiter coming into a trine with Pluto. So Jupiter is in Gemini, and of course we have Pluto in Aquarius. So there's a lot of really powerful energy that's coming in here with around death, rebirth, and transformation. June 3rd, Mercury in Gemini. So Mercury is moving into its ruling sign here, which is really allowing for very potent energies around communication, thinking with clarity and ease, because again, this is air energy, which brings us into the crown chakra, into our thoughts, but also expression, communication, Gemini being social, Mercury, the messenger planet. So there's just maybe extra chattiness, more communication, or an urge to communicate, all coming in here around that transit happening on June 3rd. June 4th, Sun conjunct Venus. So we've got Sun and Venus coming together, and this is really a powerful day to boost creative energies. So we could really receive that boost of creativity and love, of course, with Venus. So our relationships could receive some healing around this day as well. So this is really a great opportunity to nurture and foster more meaningful relationships in our lives. Now, June 6th this week, we have Gemini New Moon. So I'm really going to get into this in the Gemini New Moon reading, which again, you can join me for as a part of the Empowerment Pack, or if you would like to just do the a la carte reading for the new moon, it's $22. We get into all of the elements around the astrological weather supporting the new moon, as well as a chosen spread and other healing elements I'll bring in, and then a part 2 where I pull personal cards just for you for working with this new moon. Now, in this case, we're marking this new lunar cycle. That's an offering to bring in balance between heart and mind. Our ideas and our feelings around love are maturing. So again, we're into this energy of this moving through metamorphosis, moving through transformation, that we are learning and growing as we go. So we'll get into, some of the different aspects that can come in around this new moon, some of the other planetary actions that are influencing it, of course, in that deeper reading. Okay, let's get into our oracle cards and tarot card messages for this week. Okay, so kicking off our messages this week, we pulled a card from the Butterfly for Life Changes Oracle deck, which features gorgeous pictures of butterflies and flower energy that come in. And I feel that even though these messages are quite specific around the different topics, I think that there's something in there for everyone. And we're going to tap into this one for our collective again and see, what's coming forward. And as always, you're invited to take what resonates and leave the rest. There's always someone there to pick it up. So this card comes to you because of changes involving your children who are now grown. Usually it signals that an adult child has moved away from home, is getting married, or is off at college or with other family members. Regardless of the circumstances, this change is eliciting strong feelings of grief as the parenting part of your life now shifts. You drew this card because there's a void that needs to be filled with new meaningful projects and activities. In some cases, this card means that you, and this is what I was feeling, because this is true for all of us, you are the once child who is now grown. Perhaps you or your family still sees you as a child or adolescent. In these cases, you are being guided to view yourself as a responsible adult and to work with your family to view you that way as well. Seeking counseling help for adult children of different issues, or it's giving an example very specific for children who are product of whether it be substance abuse or any type of situation that could receive some sort of organized support from counseling groups, support groups. It can also speak to a child who acts mature beyond his or her years, and also touches on planning for a child's future. So again, it's just kind of hitting on these different ways that this card can bring up messages for us depending on what our specifics are. But what I was really tuning into was the fact that we ourselves are the adult children. And regardless of whether we have a relationship or the status of our relationship with the parental figures in our lives or with family, I think it was interesting how it spoke to, can still being seen by others as the young child that you were versus who you have become, who you have transformed into, if we were to think caterpillar and butterfly. And, this is often the case, especially if we've spent time away from people who knew a past version of us, which of course we may have worked very hard to heal and to transcend. And yet we're still held in memory or in story by others as that other version of us, so there's just a couple of different things peppering in here that I feel are sort of just setting the tone again with some spiritual breadcrumbs for the ways in which this energy could be coming in this week and just being highlighted, whether it's ourselves or others around us. Like I said, definitely was hitting home for me now having a young adult child who is just getting ready to spread their wings and step into that world of, yes, getting ready for college. All of my days have been filled with shopping for dorm room and looking for things and in many ways kind of keeping myself busy in that way because it is very emotional. And I am going through that major transformation right now. So I know how this applies to me, but just really thinking about how that might be speaking to you and wherein you find yourself in the messages that are sort of outlining for us ways that we can connect in with the butterfly energy to help us to navigate life changes of all kinds. let's go ahead now and dive into our week ahead messages for the tarot cards, and then we'll cap it off at the end with our other butterfly energy coming in through the seasons of the witch Litha oracle. Okay, here we go. We are jumping into our Monday through Friday tarot cards for this first week of June, starting with the Monday card to kick off the week, this gorgeous 10 of Pentacles. So one of the things about this deck as we are exploring it this month, I love how in the beautiful guidebook, it gives us not only keywords, reversal keywords as well. If you read reversal cards, I just use my intuition there, typically tend to read upright, and then the different symbols and things that we see in the card and expanding upon those things too. And since this isn't necessarily what you might think of as a traditional 10 of Pentacles, which, typically features the 3 generations, family, legacy, we can glean that here from what we are seeing with the layers of 3 hands here, that we can see the graduated sizes. We also see, like I mentioned, a couple of our cards really bringing home diversity for me, which is just showing this multifaceted way that we are able to really start to see each other and our unique gifts, our unique challenges, what we all bring to the table. And we see that happening in more ways than one this week, starting here with this 10 of Pentacles, again here with the 3 of Cups as our midweek blessing that we'll talk about. But here with the 10 of Pentacles, really feeling into this energy of abundance. And so, of course, with our channeled words, transform into abundance that we are bringing in here for the month of June, it does have to do with attainment of abundance, of legacy, of security and family, long-term success, accomplishments. And yes, because of the Pentacles, there's definitely a highlight for some that does have to do with money, investments, finances, savings, things that we have perhaps been building or working on as far as a strong foundation. Savings for things, those types of ways that could be a theme that's coming in for some around financial stability, inheritance, those types of things. When we talk about material abundance, other than money, safety, security, our homes, really feeling grounded and rooted, safe and connected is another aspect that comes in here with this card that can speak to really achieving, feeling some of that steadiness. The Pentacles are the slowest moving suit of the tarot, as I say. So, this is stuff that has been working on perhaps over time, accumulating over time, has been a long time coming. For some people, we are seeing things coming into fruition, reaping the rewards of long-term investments. And again, this can have to do specifically with finances, but not just, in all the different ways that we can be and feel abundant. Really feeling secure in that you have everything you need and that you have already done all of the right things to create feelings of contentment flowing through you. About laying groundwork and lasting success. So again, that's why slowest moving suit of the tarot is about, one pentacle over the other, hand over hand, building something to last, not just throwing it together. And this has been a theme that's been coming up a lot about as we peel back the layers, as we pull away what's no longer supporting, we see where we need to fill in and reinforce and reconstruct these foundations. So something in your life that's needing, maybe a bolster, or that you've been working to reinforce the security there, that it's something that you're making some headway on, and it's necessary. And that even some of the past things that maybe are no longer serving, and if we are looking to family dynamics or history, this can bring in ancestors and other aspects about long-standing, ways that there has been a need to reinforce, rebuild, or restabilize things within a family line. Having a sense of how each of those things have served over time to create these unique conditions that now exist, that are ripe now for harvest, So tens bring in that fullness, that completion. And yeah, abundance is a wonderful thing, but there really is this sense of a need for generosity, for sharing abundantly as well. So there's a sense of, again, exchanging together and creating magic together. In the guidebook here, as it talks about some of the symbols we see in these cards, the hands do in fact represent abundance and generosity of sharing. The glow that we see around the card is sort of this magical, sparkly glow that's rising from the joined hands, which is showing the energy of continued manifestation and abundance. And then the riches that we see here with all the pentacles in the background, about this being that they're under this hands-on energy, it's representative of smart investments that have resulted in long-term success. So being surrounded by wealth and abundance of all kinds. So if you're feeling like, I'm looking around, I don't see any pentacles. Where are my pentacles at? Again, this is really about counting our blessings and building from a platform of gratitude that will in turn create this fertile ground to plant these seeds. And the new moon and a new moon week is a great time to be thinking about that. So really thinking about the ways in which we contribute, coming in with gratitude, coming in with a generous and sharing heart in our circles. So yes, family, but also with, again, tribe and chosen family and the people in our orbit, neighbors, community members, in ways in which that we're able to share abundantly, even if it is just a smile or a kind word, is what I'm feeling there for Monday. So let's take a look now at Tuesday. All right, Tuesday is a potential block or challenge, and it's not a surprise, I don't think, when I tap into these energies that we have this card of that argumentative, unsettled, stirring the poop energy, as I like to call it, because there is this sense in the Five of Wands about stirring around, scrabbling, competitive energy that's in a way of sort of getting a leg up over others or stepping on others to get there. And of course, this is beautiful symbolism with this pack of wolves that's really going at it. And I think that we're going to feel maybe a lot of collective symbolism in this card as well, about a lot of the discord in our world that we see playing out on the big stage, and how the things that are happening in our microcosms on the small stage are really just that inception of that ripple that goes out into the wide world. So what happens is we have this opportunity, especially when we're feeling powerless against it, to think about the ways in which this energy shows up in our orbit and affecting change where we can, when we can. Now, it's very interesting because this is a 5, and 5 is the frequency of change, of chaos, confusion. It's also a number for freedom, for rebellion, for expression, for expansion. There's just so many ways that this unsettled energy can come in. And I'm back here now. It's Sunday as I'm recording this. I was at my son's first baseball game, and actually, again, gratitude and grace for the little things. I had an opportunity that I'm here now. His next game is getting ready to start, but my husband tagged in and he took him to that game. So I'm here. But before I left, I actually recorded the message for our Litha oracle card, Heather, which I mentioned when I pulled it, is also a 5 energy because of that 14. Sure enough, no surprise, when I tapped into the messages, this is all about protection and all about some type of competitive or unsettled energies that could be coming in and around us. So I'm actually going to share my messages for this card right after this one. I'm super curious to see what comes up with this card because it definitely felt very connected. And I just want to point out the double 5 energy that we have here this week, because again, there is a bit of unsettled energy in a 5. We're in transition. So tapping into the Tower of Oneness for the way that this is so beautifully depicted, yes, it brings through energies of arguments, facing opposition, conflict, tension, aggression, fighting to be heard, having a difference of opinion. So it's a card that indicates, as far as blocks or challenges this week, that there can seem to be a lot of tension and fighting in the pack these days. But you're standing your ground. Everyone usually bands together, but lately the opposition has made you defensive and ready to attack. Competition is all around you, and everyone is asserting their own presence. Here's the thing. This is a 5, but there's only 4 wolves here. Typically, this indicates you stepping out of the fray, not engaging all of that. So there is a sense of taking that high road, that highest available frequency when it comes to observing how this pack is going at each other. The snarls and growls of the other wolves fill the air as cold snow whips around you. What should you do? What will diffuse this situation? Rise above the chaos. If you listen to what others have to say, they will in turn listen to you. Acknowledging everyone's skill set and unique contribution will create a respectful environment where ideas can flow and you can all prosper. Isn't that interesting? Because, again, that's what I'm seeing here. Everybody bringing something to the table. Everybody brings a unique perspective. All hands on deck. Different cups of tea. They're all bringing something different and unique. And that includes the challenges. That includes the traumas and the preconceived notions and limitations and whatever extent of consciousness that they're operating off of, okay? And so, it's asking when you rise above and look at that big picture that you're sort of acknowledging all of those things and allowing that to set the tone for how you open yourself up to understanding a little more about what each member's perspective may be. And so, it's interesting that the snow is here because our last week of May, we were still working with the runes and we got one for ice and one for water. And it brought through these messages about, in which ways we might be frozen, stuck, things that are sort of just kind of suspended in time that are ready to sort of thaw out and get into a state of flow. And that's where I had brought the water in for this month, this water element for flow, because it feels that more than ever, perhaps, we're needing the clarifying, cleansing properties of water, and also this understanding about water and its ability to really take on whatever it is exposed to, what it's connected with. And when we talk about things, I mentioned sun tea in the card pull. That's something I'm going to be exploring this month. I've talked before about the Bach flower essences, the power of water, how it can take on these things and how we can put our intentions into water, how we can put our intentions into the waters of the earth when it comes to sending out healing that can be far reaching. So there's some stuff coming in with that. I'm just noticing that I'm just kind of getting that, and we'll see how that unfolds as we move through the month. But the blowing snow here is evoking feelings of being out in the cold and struggle. So being that this is a card that is about conflict, it can help to represent the cold feelings and tension that result from disagreements with others. So yeah, I think clearly when we're talking about the big stage, we get that. We understand. How is that coming up for you? Where in your life might you be picking up on some tension, some disagreements, some challenges, some differing schools of thought, different extents of consciousness, and where people are in that process and what their ability is to process others, receive others, or hold space for others. And so, the wolves here are really showing these energies of, number one, it's mentioning their intelligence, and how you can use your instincts and the importance of social connections, because we're looking at this from this pack mentality, the lone wolf versus the pack. When confronted with wolf energy, their ferocious power can feel daunting. When feeling threatened, call on wolf energy to surround and protect you. Will you be caught in this moment of tension or competition, Or will you trust your instincts on how you navigate yourself to a safer space? So we're picking our battles. We're recognizing others' limitations as well as what they bring to the table, the good, the bad, the ugly. Factoring that in as for me, I set my intention for what path I'm taking. So if the poop stirring is happening on this lower vibrational path and that's not for me, then I may take a lone wolf approach. But if there's a way for me to affect the whole by holding that higher timeline, there's a number of different ways that this could be showing up for people. Again, this is collective general. If you would like a personal card pull, if this is speaking to you or you would like to know more about it, when we pull your personal card pull, if you would like one, we can sort of focus on the ways in which this Five of Wands energy could show up for you this week. Now I'm going to partner that with the Heather, and I'm just going to put that message that I've recorded right here with it so you can kind of see how it's so crazy. I mean, I recorded it hours ago, but I already know that it is talking about this circle of protection and using all of your tools, all of these things that you have gathered in order to protect you and yours, and also, just bringing in this energy of taking that higher road, taking that path, as a trailblazer and one who is, maybe, yes, lone wolf perhaps, but really setting off on a new frequency and a new way forward. So we'll see how that unfolds this week, but I'm going to go ahead and pull that butterfly energy for the Litha Oracle in here now. Okay, we're rounding it all out here now with the card that came through from the Litha Oracle deck. The Heather card has come forward, and I'm instantly feeling a connection to the Five of Wands that's here as the potential blocker challenge this week. This is card 14. 1 and 4 is 5. So this card also holds the frequency of 5, just like the Tuesday card, again, symbolizing change and chaos and confusion that can exist in and around periods of tumultuous change and transformation. And of course, 5 also being the rebel, the freedom seeker for expansion, and in the case of needing to set some boundaries or parameters around those that maybe are causing some type of block or challenge in that way. So let's take a look and see what Heather has to say. Key words here: peace of mind, protection of dreams, worthy of admiration. You are worthy, my dear. Silence the noise that strips you of your peace. Rest easy, my dear. Your dreams are protected. You may have felt worried that your plans have been foiled or that a recent bout of competition, yes, is going to derail your success. There is no cause for fear this recent attack, because although annoying, it is confirmation that you are worthy of admiration, and those attempting to defeat you are projecting their own insecurities and fears that your light will dim theirs. This is literally that Five of Wands. So very connected here. Pay no attention to the noise unless they are absolutely negative. You may have to stand up for yourself here and there, but otherwise, much of what you are experiencing is a whole lot of bark and no bite. Do not let anyone else's criticism plant doubt in what you have worked so hard to achieve. Keep your mind trained on your vision, establish boundaries, and remember that you have gotten this far, and you can go as far as you dare. If you are experiencing doubts, you can always try on someone's comments to see if they hold any truth. To do so is a healthy form of self-awareness as long as you do it with honesty. If for some reason you do find a criticism to be true, know that it is well within your ability to confront and overcome any shortcomings. All people have faults, but that doesn't mean those faults have to prevent you from achieving your goals. Thank the naysayers for bringing this to your attention, and then do what you do best: evolve. So yeah, this is really powerful, and I'm actually recording this message before I've dived into the 5 cards. So I instantly know, without even having gotten into that Five of Wands yet, this is a complete alignment. So I will likely be weaving this in when we talk about that Five of Wands in whatever order you're listening to this. But Heather, I know, is associated with protection. And, so I was definitely feeling that. And I love how it's depicted here of sort of adorning our door, this entryway into our space with the protection of the ring, the wreath of Heather. And I love just all of the different, bringing in all of the different elements and aspects into your home, into your space, into your aura, into your surroundings to bring in that protection from the wolves, protection from this energy that the Five of Wands will be bringing in. So definitely bringing together those two messages and feeling this as a message for us this week to really, again, with the butterfly symbolism, and this is something I talked about in the month ahead empowerment pack reading. Fun fact about the butterfly is that actually it does not go into a cocoon. It is a chrysalis, and that's because it's not spun around them like a silk. It's actually their own body, their exoskeleton that they're shedding that hardens and creates a protective layer. So similarly, these things that we are releasing, shedding, changing about ourselves actually become, again, the material with which we can protect ourselves from and shield ourselves from that external energy that is of a lower vibration. So much to contemplate there and more to come. Okay, Wednesday, bringing us to the table with the Three of Cups. So in the midst of all of that unsettled energy with our Tuesday card for the blocker challenge, we have something of coming together in community and in a beautiful way and bringing in a little magic. We have here the Three of Cups. Noteworthy that we have two cards from the cup suit this week, which again is water, as well as the moon bringing in the element of water. So there's definitely emotion and flow and feels present, especially this back latter end of the week here, midweek and on. So as a midweek blessing, coming in here with this Three of Cups, it is a card that represents friendship, fun, celebration, collaboration, sisterhood, joining forces with like-minded people, social gathering. So to the extent that, there's some sort of discord, there's some sort of stirring around over here that maybe has you striking out as the lone wolf, there is a sense of coming together and having connection with others, meaningful connection with others. So if we move away from a particular lower vibrational energy and turn towards that which fills up our cup, which lights us up, that is where we are best served with a midweek blessing. Now, practical ways this can show up is this can be meeting up with friends for coffee, a lunch date, gathering, conversations, having fun, and celebrations, celebrating milestones with others, or just for any old good reason, surrounding yourself with warm friendships that bring you companionship, support, love, and maybe some good laughs. Friendship can lift you up when you're down, give you hope when you're lost, and cheer you on when celebrating successes in life. They offer support when you're in the midst of making lifestyle changes and help build your self-esteem. They encourage you to be the best version of yourself. Now, in case physically gathering is not possible, again, this could be about making connection with people who light us up, people who fill our cup. So this can be some sort of, electronic exchange, whether it be connecting virtually online on Marco Polo, by the way, is an amazing way to connect. Marco Polo, several months ago, as I was working with them as an ambassador for just sharing about how great this is for me as an authentic tool, and also for connecting with others in a real meaningful way, they had this text to polo challenge where you would ask a friend or two that you normally text with very often to do this polo challenge with you, where you set a period of time, whether it be, a week, 10 days, 2 weeks, where instead of texting each other, you send each other polos, video messages. So I don't know, I'm just getting a little inspo here that, for those of us who may have besties who are far away that we can't see physically, or, just aren't able to get out and go out, this is a great way to connect with others where you kind of see each other and have that visual connection when you can't necessarily gather physically. If you want to know more about that and you need any tips about using Marco Polo, I can definitely help you with that. So really, just speaking to this midweek blessing as the genuine friendships, relationships in our life, and the positive impact that they can also have on our physical health, our well-being, our emotional health. Building strong relationships can really actually increase your longevity and help you to steer clear of serious health issues. Now, this also could be something that's coming forward as a midweek blessing to let you know about an opportunity to maybe have fun at a social event that's coming up. So this could be like a birthday party, anniversary, wedding, celebration, vacation, a little friendly gathering, something in your day-to-day tasks sort of being put on hold and taking a moment to really enjoy the companionship with others. So, again, this is going to show up for all of us in many different ways. This is a season for a lot of celebrations, gatherings, and such. So I wouldn't be surprised if just in the most practical way, that's coming in for a lot of people. I just want to share some of the notes here on the symbols that you see in this card. There are Peruvian lilies in the distance here on this card. Gorgeous. And with those Peruvian lilies, they share that energy of friendship and devotion, and they can symbolize loving relationships. And that's great because, like I said, when I talked about the energetic weather, we're going to dive more deeply with this Gemini new moon and the opportunity in the realm of love and relationships that's being highlighted here. So again, we're going to go deeper on that in the new moon reading if you're interested in joining, or if you're already with me for the empowerment pack, of course, we are rolling right into that this week. The snickerdoodles in the background, I'm getting hungry, cinnamon flavored cookies that are shared over a coffee with great friends add sweetness to your relationship. So yeah, it's also showing like a full circle, again, when you're reading cards, you're looking at everything, the signs, the symbols, the numbers, the colors, everything, right? And we see the circular, right? We're seeing this round energy, circular, where there's this holistic energy of coming all the way around in this equally shared way. So again, I'm seeing that coming in here, of course, and then we bring in the sweetness with cookies, with this sense of all of the magic, again, that each different unique cup brings to the table. So beautiful energy to sort of give us that midweek anchor into the week as we now will roll into New Moon Thursday. Let's take a look. All right, Thursday is our only major arcana card for the week, significant energy on our fool's journey, and it happens to be all matchy-matchy as the moon with the fact that the new moon in Gemini is this day on Thursday. So I mentioned in the card pull, this card has some really fun little surprises in it. I'm going to try to zoom in here so you can kind of see what I'm talking about because, the moon does speak to illumination of things that perhaps were once hidden that we were unable to see that now are coming into view. And like I said, this is a new moon, so this may just be the beginning of some things coming into focus or getting clear. But let's see if you can see. So here we have a spider up here. And then when you look in the trees, you see the traditional wolf or dogs. Again, a little nod there to the wolf energy, canines as they're listed here. So we see that the two are here like they are traditionally in the moon card. And then down here in the corner, it's a little bit darker. Let's see. Oh, there you go. Now you can see the crayfish. So it's really cool because it's so creative in the way that it has woven in some of that traditional symbolism there. Now you can see the dog. So we have one here and then one here. More than meets the eye, right? Sometimes when we first look at something upon first glance, there's more to it. And I just love that just beautiful hidden in plain sight symbolism of this card. I'll just keep it zoomed in so you can continue to take a look at that in the ways it's speaking to you. That yes, the moon is representing the feminine energy of the shadow and that dark side. And so here, yes, there's illumination of shadows. It represents dreams, the unknown, uncertainty, facing your fears, trusting your gut, the subconscious mind, mystery, metaphor, and perception. So how are we growing? Right? All these energies are sort of out there in the ethers, kind of nebulous for us, that we could be tapping into a Gemini new moon. So yes, there's going to be that duality, those two sides of light and shadow. Here it talks about this brisk night and the moon glowing bright, casting mysterious shadows all around. You too cast shadows that may need illumination. Traumas can get buried deep inside, tucked away, almost forgotten. On this moonlit night, they wiggle themselves out of the dark recesses and back into your conscious awareness in the form of fear and anxiety. Tap into your intuition to look beyond the illusions and cast light on the shadows to clear and transmute any negative energies. Don't feel the need to put the expectation all on yourself to work through your shadows. It's okay to seek guidance. There are many therapies and treatments that can support you in your journey. I think that's the second card we've had that talked about maybe some type of support group, therapy, or something too. The adult children butterfly for Life Changes card talked about that as well. So yeah, as we're uncovering some of these, especially if they are traumas from the past, and if they are connected to family lines, if they're connected to experiences from our past, you know, it's interesting because we do have that energy here between that 10 of Pentacles with the adult children. Now we have it coming up here with the moon. Again, not for everybody. We're just tapping into collective energy, and I'm just mentioning everything that stream of consciousness comes through for me to just share, trusting that there is something in there for all. That this is having me feel about this higher wisdom, this ancient wisdom, you know, the divine wisdom that comes forward from accessing the shadow, from allowing the shadow to come to the light, to be seen. And so, you know, it's also tying in with that potential blocker challenge, the 5 of Wands, because if we're willing to look at that whole scene from a higher perspective, from our wise self, from up high, like the owl, you know, that sits up there quietly, patiently seeing every little nuance on the ground, every little movement, but also being able to see this wide angle view as well, that we can look at it from the different perspectives that suggest that some of these players and what's fueling this tense, argumentative, unsettled energy is coming from this hidden, recessed traumas, wounds, fears, anxieties, and all these things that are manifesting themselves in this way, that we have this opportunity to bring to light, to really allow to come forward so that we can begin to have that healing take place, and whatever that entails, you know, whether it is something that's ready to be released, shed, forgiven, integrated, however it's presenting itself. Again, we will go deeper on that with the new moon reading, but we see here that this beautiful depiction of this card is really giving us this sense of the two canines, which would represent domesticated and wild canines. They reference, and this is fascinating because, again, if you remember, I touched on this in the energetic weather report about Gemini and the twins and how they represent the two sides of our human side, our material physical side, and our spiritual side, right? Well, the two canines here also represent the two sides of human nature, the civilized and the untamable. And both of these energies exist within you. They exist within all. And so when we start to tap into, yes, we're all different cups of tea, but it's all tea. It's all in the tea, right? So when we look at ways to pull out threads of hope and promise and magic and ways that we are able to transform into abundance, this is the type of aha illumination moments we're talking about that come from intention, that come from your focus on that highest available timeline. So all ways that you can be supported on your journey, which of course the crayfish symbolizes the primordial origins and the astrological sign of Cancer. So that's the zodiac sign affiliated with this card, and it speaks to this energy of Cancer season coming in. And, the full moon on the 21st is also the first day that the sun moves into Cancer and the beginning of Cancer season. So all of this is coming in. So I really do feel that this new moon is a start, is an inception point, that perhaps more information, more illumination coming within Cancer season for sure, perhaps in and around the full moon in June. The owl, of course, representing independent thinking, spiritual wisdom. I'm seeing the big picture, but also paying attention to those nuanced details as well. The spider, I forgot to mention that when I pointed him out at the top. The spider is bringing in ancient wisdom. Yes, that's what I'm saying. I was definitely feeling that. Ancient wisdom, illusion, and the weaving together of the past, present, and future. Beautiful. I've shared about the spider, about the message that Archangel Metatron brought through to me during my attunement to his energy, which was about the choice that the spider brings to be the architect of your own life that you are weaving, or to get caught up in the sticky web. So again, it's bringing in this ancient wisdom that we can learn from, that we can lean into, we can call upon, bringing that up through our own wise self, and really spinning these strands of energy into a thing of real beauty, of healing, and so much more. Finally, the trees here are reminiscent of those towers that we see in the traditional Rider-Waite version of this card. It also suggests an illusion of safety. It talks about the future lying in mystery of what exists between these towers when you journey from the conscious to the unconscious and spirituality. So again, there's still some things that are yet to be seen in the future, down the line, but here and now is where we are best served to use our energy in this moment. And we are growing into that knowing and beginning to really take some meaningful steps in that direction, is what that's saying to me. Let's wrap it all up now with our Friday card. All right, finally Friday, we bring in the embodiment of cups, which is like the King of Cups. Such a beautiful way to bring in all of these different symbols and signs that are seen on a traditional King of Cups. I love about this deck how the court cards are portrayed, and specifically the Queen and King, because they really are the culmination of the best, the balanced, the realized version of that whatever suit they are in, as in harnessing the spirit of the suit and embodying the suit. So this is like mastery of the cups, bringing in all of this energy for, again, water is the element associated with cups, so that's going to represent feels, flow, emotions, heart chakra, right? So this is a card that evokes control, diplomacy, emotional maturity, compassion, calm and balanced, steering clear of drama, staying true to your personal boundaries, balancing logic, emotion, and intuition. So it's really bringing in this energy from this crown up that we're seeing a readiness for you to really embody this energy of the Suit of Cups, which really is about a balancing of emotions and feels, and recognizing that we can move through and flow through, allowing those emotions to rise and fall as they will without getting swept up or swept away. There is this emotional maturity that this card represents. And so it's talking about, just by virtue of finding yourself here on this throne, it means that you have achieved mastery over your emotions and unconscious world. You navigate emotional issues with divine wisdom, giving you the powers of maturity and social responsibility. We encounter people in our lives who are deep thinkers, led by logic, and we meet people who make decisions from a purely emotional standpoint. When this card comes up, this is showing that you have found a beautiful balance between both of these things. Your approach to troubling moments is calm, rational, and balanced. Remember, this energy exists everywhere, right? It's all around, and it's very loud. It's hard to perhaps get to a place where we are not impacted by that in a real visceral way, that we just throw in the towel and join and start in the poo stirring. Very easy to do. And we all have our moments perhaps, but this is really showing a beautiful contrast between the ways in which emotional regulation and dysregulation can show up, right? And the difference between the two. But when we're talking about embodying this energy, and if you're thinking about being a leader in a position of mastery or leadership in that role, what does that look like, right? So really looking at your approach in those moments to remaining calm, rational, and balanced. Now, this can also represent, a person in your life who can provide you with emotional support, especially if you're struggling, right? It could be a mentor, a coach, or a friend who can help guide you through a rough patch. We all have our moments, right? Poop gone stir. It's going to happen, So again, we're giving ourselves some grace as well for understanding that there is a tremendous amount of pressure and tension and conditions being ripe for. So it's not to shame or fault if we're not able to wear that crown on our head like a master every moment of every day. Now, some of the symbols that we see here that are speaking to us, it really is beautiful, are coral. So coral teaches us patience. It flourishes in a nurturing environment, and it also represents power coming from a strong sense of being grounded. So we're back to those pentacles that had us getting into the center of getting grounded, of, allowing ourselves to feel safe, secure. The flying fish that we see here on the card. The fish leaps from the sea of unpredictable emotions with complete freedom to connect to the subconscious, and also brings logic into any situation. Seahorses. Seahorses enhance the energies of calmness, balance, and healing while referencing the divine masculine. So we have a nod here to the divine masculine. I mentioned the divine feminine over here with the moon energy. So we have a beautiful balance here. Again, this end of the week really feels like this new moon in Gemini is bringing that duality in for us, but in a really beautiful way that's fostering our relationships and connections through emotion, is what I'm feeling here, especially when it's flanked with the cups energy on either side. The ship pendant that we see up here. So this is reminiscent of the ship that's floating in rough waters in the traditional King of Cups in the Rider-Waite system. It's referencing your ability to remain calm in turbulent times. Okay, so we've got so many connections in the cards this week. Again, there's 78 cards in a traditional tarot deck. Sometimes there's even extra cards from the creators in these decks. These are the 5 that we brought forward with our collective energy for this week. And we're seeing, along with these oracle cards, so many common threads of energy that are coming up that, again, are going to play out and show up in so many different ways in all of our lives. So again, if any of this is speaking to you, pinging for you, or you'd like to know more and you would like a free personal card pull for this week, feel free to quick reply to this message if you're seeing it on Marco Polo, or you can comment or reach out to me in any way that works for you. I'll be offering these complimentary card pulls throughout the week in between the comprehensive work. It's a big, busy week rolling right into June because, again, I'm going to break out for you all of the ways in which we can connect this week and throughout this month. But if you are interested in coming along for the Empowerment Pack this month, there's going to be 2 big readings this week. You're going to receive that month ahead reading, which includes personal card pulls for you for your beginning, middle, and end of this month, along with the supporting oracle cards. And then we're going to roll right into a new moon reading for the new moon on Thursday, which also includes a full spread and personal card pulls for you. If you just want one of those readings, those are available too. So we have the a la carte options for just a month ahead reading, just a new moon reading. So if you have any questions, if you want to know more, please reach out. I hope you are finding these messages to resonate. I'm really looking forward to, there's so many things coming in right now. My head is kind of exploding, especially with all the things I have going on myself. So as we settle into these energies and see how it all unfolds this month, it really does feel very beautiful in all of this unknown of this transformative time that we're moving through. So hang in there. Please reach out if you need any support in any way. And I'm sending you all so much love and many blessings. Have a beautiful week.